Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz.
Well, hi team. I'm Fitz, your uber bossy fitness pro and race announcer from Fitzness.com, and welcome to the Fitzness Show. We got a lot of questions to answer today. That's right. You've sent the Q's. I've got the A's, and these topics are great. We're going to talk about the weight loss drugs and water retention and a few other hot topics that so many people are curious about. So thank you to everybody who submits questions, whether you're submitting them through Instagram or Fitzness.com or on Facebook. I love being able to problem solve for you. So thanks about that. If you guys haven't done so yet, don't forget to click subscribe wherever you listen to the Fitzness Show, and that will make that podcast distributor send you a notification and say, hey, the Fitzness Show is up. And I have so many pokes coming. I like the pokes very much. And I appreciate that you guys seem to like the pokes. Yesterday, I released Have More Orgasms. That's right. The Have More Orgasms poke. And the comments have been fantastic. And then one guy who's a big burly guy, he says, I'm afraid to listen to that episode, which is very, very funny to me. We're all adults here, right? I think we're all adults, and I think you should have more orgasms. If you want to know why, listen to the little poke I just released. But I just got back from, well, I didn't get just back. Last week I got back from Minnesota. I announced a mud girl race over there. Mostly uneventful weekend. However, there's a few things I would like to address because they tried to screw with me in Minnesota. I was in a hotel next to the Mall of America. Let me tell you this, I don't ever want to go back there. It is too much stimulation. It's shopping, but then DJs and bands and roller coasters. And it is a big, massive headache. And I hate to disparage any sort of American business because shopping is good and all the people that work there is great. And I support that. But holy hell, last time I went to the Mall of America, I got in and halfway through it, I got a massive migraine. And then it took me, I don't know how long to escape the Mall of America. I had to get out of there. And it was so far to get out of there that the headache just kept growing and growing. I was almost panic stricken by the time I walked out of that building. So I'm pretty committed to never going back there. And if I lived locally, if I was in the Twin Cities area, I assure you I would shop somewhere else. So anyways, my hotel, I was in Marriott right near the Mall of America. Golly, why is that so hard to say? And I asked the front desk lady, I said, is there some sort of shopping center outdoors where I could roam around? I was thinking boutiques. And she said, yeah, go to this one. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe Egan or something, but it was an outlet mall, which again, not as bad as Mall of America, but not awesome either. But I did get 2 nice Calvin Klein bras for $10 each, which is kind of exciting. And I got a whole bunch of magic soaps. Oh my gosh. Do you know how many people I touch? I'm sure you listeners probably do know that I touch everybody all the time. There's hugs and high fives. And with Mud Girl, if we have 10,000 athletes that day, I probably high five 8,000 of them. And I'm not even joking. These women lean in. They won't cross the start line until we have high-fived, which I loved. But between every start, I go and I wash my hands with the magic soap. So I keep lots and lots of that. And Bath and Body Works, who I do not represent, they have a great deal right now. It's 6 for $10. And so I just throw them everywhere and they smell so good. I got some pumpkin flavored ones. Now, mind you, I don't want to drink pumpkin anything. If you try to tell me pumpkin coffee is a good thing, I will be skeptical about your opinions moving forward. However, on your hands, it smells great. So I got a bunch of those and I actually gave them to some of my coworkers because I thought they're also touching people and they seem to like that. They're so lovely. The Mud Girl staff is really sweet, really hardworking, just a pleasure to be around. So anyway, so this is where I get to Minnesota messing with me. So first of all, I didn't get the boutiques. I got the outlet mall when I was promised boutiques. So that was disappointing, but I'm standing at the start line on Saturday morning. And again, thousands of people. But I'm talking to them, and it's not like a normal start line of, say, a marathon or a 5K. I I sometimes will have athletes lined up with me for 25 minutes. I can only send maybe 150 through at a time because our obstacles can only accommodate so many people. We don't want log jams, so I break them into small groups. And sometimes we're dancing and we have different activities, or I just chit chat with them. And so I'm in the chit chatting section of my morning, and all of a sudden, this big white thing starts floating around over the heads of the athletes. And I look and I say, "What is that? What is that thing?" And they're all from there. So they say, "It's cotton." And I look around, and we're on a gun range. It's very rural, but there's big, big trees. I don't see any fields of cotton, which my whole life I've been told people pick cotton from the fields. So I look and I don't see that. And I say, "That's cotton?" And they said, "Yeah." And then they point up, and and there's a huge tree over us. They said it's from the cotton tree. And I just in my mind, I glitched, right? Because I thought, no, cotton is grown in fields. And they said, "No, that's a cotton tree." And I looked up, "Really?" And they said, "Yeah, it's cottonwood." I said, "That's a cottonwood tree." And of course, I don't see any cotton looking things up in this big, dark brown and green tree. But I said, "Are you sure that's cotton?" They said, "Yes, it's cottonwood." So I went, "Okay." And in my mind, I thought, well, I've been confused, and now I'm standing under a cotton tree. Who knew? And so later in the day, similar things happen. I have hundreds, thousand, whatever athletes in front of me. And then this big white thing starts floating around. I go, "That's cotton." And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "I did not know that cotton grew on trees. I thought they grew in the fields as a plant." And the earlier corrals told me that that was cotton. They were like, "No, it's not. It's not." I said, "But they said it was cotton." They said, "No, cottonwood." And apparently this big white fluffy thing is fake cotton. I'm still not sure, but they were trying to dupe me. Shame on you, Minnesota. No, I really love them. We had a lot of fun, but I did get duped a few times, maybe tricked. And then the last thing that's of interest on my Minnesota trip, or actually two things, is on the way there, I had a BO transfer again. I told you one of my last episodes that I have been hugging sweaty men, and they leave their BO on me, which has been a real crisis to get it off of me before I get to the airport. Well, this time driving in my Wrangler on the way to the airport, it had been in the shop for 2 weeks, and those poor mechanics are working out in the miserable Florida sun, and they were stinking up my Jeep. And I drove home from the mechanic with the roof off, so I didn't smell anything bad, but I had the roof on when I was going to the airport. And I thought, "Oh my gosh, that's BO. And now I'm going to smell like BO on the plane." This is kind of a trend. There's a Seinfeld episode. I'm living in a Seinfeld episode. That's apparently what's going on with my life. He's my favorite comedian. But anyways, I stopped off and I got some Febreze, and it fixed the problem. Highly recommend keeping some Febreze in your car. Now, another runner sent me some other products that are similar to Febreze that he says are better. So I'm going to try them out and let you know. Oh, and also speaking of Seinfeld, my other favorite comedian, Nate Bargatze, I saw him live a few weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago in Tallahassee. When I was in Minneapolis, he was there in St. Paul. And I didn't find out until too later. I would have gone to see him again. I would have stalked him. I think there's a chance he might be stalking me. If he shows up in Oklahoma City next week, we know that Nate Bargatze has a raging crush on Fitz. And I don't know, we're probably going to talk, right? Because I dig the funny men. I love me some funny men. And we will be right back. Hi, team. If you're taking my great advice for going outside and getting active, make sure when you do, you're also protecting your skin. I'd like to share with you my favorite sunscreen. It is Kinesis Active. It is built for active folks like you and me, whether you play pickleball or you run races or you go swimming. Kinesis Active was built just for us. It's lightweight, it's hypoallergenic, it goes on gently and smoothly. It smells great, and it does the job. You know what? I'll be out in the sun for hours on end. And of course, I reapply regularly. But if I have Kinesis Active, I'm not burning. I'm not burning anymore. You know what really matters to me is when I wear their Kinesis Active Pro lip balm. My lips aren't chapping, they aren't blistering, they aren't splitting. And holy mackerel, does that mean a lot? So when you go outside, give this brand a try. It's not the common stuff you see on your pharmacy shelves. It's above and beyond. And I put my life in their hands. I had my father and maternal grandmother die of melanoma, and I believe this is the stuff that's going to keep me from sharing that fate. It's KINESYS active.com. Go do a little shopping. Tell them Fitz sent you. Get to work, team. Bye. We're back. And speaking of funny, this one's interesting. I don't know if you all have seen it, but with workout pants, you've probably seen the workout pants now that have this severe stitching up the butt crack, right? So it's not just flat. There's a deliberate effort to smush the seam of I guess, woman's pants. I haven't seen guys wear them yet, but the seam right into the butt crack so you can see the bulbous shape of the booty. So good on those girls. I haven't I haven't tried those pants on yet. I don't know if Fitz Kohler is a seam up the butt crack material, but now there's a totally different type of booty pants, and it has the seam up the butt crack, but the waistline of the pants dive down. They take this big V-shaped dip into the butt crack. So and I keep saying butt crack. I say some things on this podcast that I don't really think I'd ever thought I'd say, but butt crack, butt crack, butt crack. But the pants look normal in front. And then when they get past your hips around back, they just plunge straight to the butt crack. And it's risque, I guess. I mean, good for those girls. I saw 2 women at my gym this week with the deep plunge butt crack pants, and I don't know if we need this. Of course, they had beautiful bodies. They looked fantastic. However, I'm wondering, like, when are they going to start plunging down in front? I really don't need that. But I don't know. Kudos to those selling this stuff. And yeah, I guess you got to be sexy at all costs. That's probably it. You must be sexy even at the gym. So it's one thing to look great, but I don't know. The deep V plunge. I want you to look it up. I don't know what it's called. That's what I'm calling it. But get online and find it and let me know what you think about that stuff. Let me know if you're going to wear those pants. Let me know if you think I should wear those pants. I'm probably never going to wear those pants unless someone's paying me to wear those pants. But what's interesting. Yay for the butt crack pants. Okay. So we're starting with Tom Zizek. He says, I'm curious about your opinion on all the new weight loss injection GLP antagonists. So yeah, I mean, I've spent my whole career telling people that magic weight loss pills don't exist. And now they do. Now they're not magic. They're not magic at all. They come with a price, a hefty price tag. And then, of course, they can come with severe consequences. And so my thoughts, if somebody is obese, if somebody is morbidly obese, if somebody's life is already in harm's way based on their weight and they are not doing the things they need to do to get the weight off, well, I look at obese people and I think, gosh, they've got a gun to their head. If you're 50 pounds or more overweight, I think you're walking around with a gun to your head. You're playing Russian roulette. It is so dangerous to be that far overweight. Not only heart disease, but strokes, sudden death. I mean, you are playing with fire. Type 2 diabetes, no thank you. So obesity, morbid obesity, I understand why doctors are utilizing these drugs because they've been effective for so many, designed for type 2 diabetics. And now they're being used globally for weight management. So if you do have such obesity issues and you haven't been successful, I mean, we say you haven't been successful. You haven't done what it takes to lose the weight, right? I mean, because everyone can lose weight. Everyone, no matter how big you are, and you're like, oh, my uncle's fat, my grandpa's fat. blah, blah, blah. That's why I'm overweight. Yeah, I'm not buying that. They weren't genetically overweight. They had terrible habits. And if you're obese, they passed along their bad habits, right? So it's not that you can't lose the weight, it's that you haven't done what it takes. However, if you're one of the people who simply won't do what it takes and you take the drugs, okay, well, if you lose 50 pounds pretty quickly, I don't know how much you have to lose, but if you go from obese or morbidly obese to a regular healthy weight, then that's a good thing, right? That not only takes certain stressors off of your heart and your lungs and your cardiovascular system and your joints and your spinal column, that's good. So there's definitely benefits to that. And then there's the downsides, right? I've seen that folks who take these drugs are higher at risk for thyroid cancer, for terrible digestive issues. I have quite a few friends who've been using them, and they've told me some of their symptoms were similar, and me listening to their description of symptoms similar to that of cancer, like chemo. Ugh, no, thank you. Excessive diarrhea, vomiting. They slow down your digestive system so the food just sits there longer. So you don't want to eat because you're already full. So there's all sorts of unpleasantries that come with these pills. Now, again, is there a benefit from getting someone who's 500 pounds down to 250? No, kind of like no matter what, maybe. But if those people do not change their habits along with these drugs, well, they're setting themselves up for failure again, because the second they go off or reduce their dosage, they will gain the weight back. You're eventually going to have to adopt healthy habits if you want to lose the weight and keep it off. I don't know how long they keep these people on these drugs. Will they keep you on it for 10 years? Will they keep you on them for 20 years? I don't know. I don't know. I've spoken to some physicians who happily prescribe the drugs. They feel like getting the weight off of certain people is worth the risks or the consequences involved. What I wish people would do, as you can imagine, is I wish everybody would just start being reasonable. Being of ideal weight doesn't mean you have to be radical with your eating habits. I've taught you the exact formula for weight loss. That's not a diet. I'm just encouraging you to be reasonable. This is the size you want to be. Okay, eat the amount of food that will sustain someone of that size. It's so easy. And I say it's so easy. Maybe you say, no, it's not easy. Right. And quitting smoking is not easy. And cutting back on alcohol, not easy, but so vital to long-term health. So vital to your health and happiness today and then ongoing. And so it's simple, may not be easy, but simple. So you have to do it eventually, or you'll go back to being the obese person you were before. And so, yeah, that's my feelings. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I am not a doctor. I'm not a medical person in any regard. I'm just a fitness expert. That's it. That's my claim to fame is I teach exercise. I help people adopt healthy habits that help them live better and longer. So, yeah, the pharmaceutical thing is out of my lane professionally. Yeah, but people are using it and they are having success. That's undeniable. They're also having consequences, and you just have to weigh things out, right? If you choose to go the natural route where you're not taking those drugs and you are using the formula and you're exercising often and you're gradually moving into a body that you feel great in, that's of an ideal weight, that's something you can sustain forever. You don't have to wait for a prescription. You don't have to worry about your budget. You can just do those things and keep the weight off and be healthy for life with no consequence. There's no negative consequences to being a generally healthy person. So that's how I feel about those drugs. I hope I answered your question. I mean, yeah, they're certainly effective in some regard. There's got to be consequences, right, for so many. And I don't know if anybody gets off scot-free in that situation. You take the drugs, there's going to be a side effect. I hope if you're taking them, the side effects aren't too awful, and they're certainly not long lasting. They're not thyroid cancer, right? That's scary stuff. And we will be right back.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for a loved one battling cancer? The Cancer Comeback Series by Fitz offers hope, inspiration, and practical guidance. With Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, and The Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. These books are a lifeline for all patients and survivors. Right now, you can order autographed copies at a special discount. Show your support and help a loved one go from sick to strong. Visit Fitzness.com today. That's Fitzness.com. Fitzness.com.
We're back. Okay. Jason Rue, who has lost a ton of weight by eating wisely and exercising often. I'm very proud of Jason. Jason says, I typically drink a gallon of water daily. Yesterday, I accomplished it, but the previous 3 days, I didn't. I was surprised that I weighed more this morning than I did the other 3 mornings. Am I holding on to water weight for some reason? So the reason you were lighter on the other mornings, maybe you were dehydrated. Yeah, maybe you were just dehydrated. If we dehydrate, the scale says we're less, right? And then let's say you're dehydrated and you get on the scale and it says you weigh 150 pounds, 0.2. If you drink 8 ounces of water, it will say you are 150 pounds, 0.10. So yeah, I'm guessing drinking all the water added more weight to you. Now, some people say, well, water is supposed to flush you out. Yeah, it does, but it still exists within your body. Your body's going to hold on to some of it. Our body, I just did a poke episode on this. Our body is the great majority of our body is water, right? Our brain is mostly water. Our heart is mostly water. Our skin is mostly water. All of our parts are mostly comprised of water. So if you're going to put some water in, our body's going to absorb it and use it. So yeah, you probably just wait a little more because you added water, just add water, right? And then eventually you'll pee it out. You know, maybe you did have some salt and you're retaining it. It's interesting the way our body works sometimes. Sometimes people will be using the formula and they'll lose 4 pounds on week 1 and 4 pounds on week 2 and 3 pounds on week 3. And then week 4, lose nothing. Week 5, lose nothing. And they're saying, but Fitz, I'm using the formula. I'm sticking to it. And it's going great. Why am I not losing weight? I said, okay, just wait till week 6. And then week 6, they lose 6 pounds. So I don't know why our body just holds on to things and lets it go. I mean, I know why, but it's hard to pinpoint every single time. Maybe you didn't use the restroom, Jason. Number 1, number 2, those things can make an impact on your weight. But most importantly, please stop weighing yourself daily. I think that's bad for your psyche. I think that type of thing leads to eating disorders. So once a week, you're just looking for a downward trend. We don't need to know if you weigh a certain thing Monday, a certain thing Tuesday, a certain thing Wednesday, and definitely not Tuesday evening and Wednesday evening too. So once a week, pick a time and you won't become neurotic over such trivial details. And I'm not picking on you. I'm concerned. Once a week at max, and that should keep you on track. We're looking for the downward trend. Okie dokie. Robin Escobar says, is there an ideal time to stop eating before bedtime with regards to weight loss or maintenance? I say no. Exact formula gives you a daily caloric budget. Now, I encourage you to start your day with some calories, some healthy food, because that gives you energy to go. But if you've got 1,600 calories to eat during the day, as far as your weight goes, it's calories in versus calories out. The timing doesn't matter, just like it doesn't matter when you burn those calories, right? Maybe you're going to do a lot of exercise in the morning or a lot of exercise in the evening. That doesn't really change much. I mean, the only real benefit to working out in the morning, well, there's benefits, right? It brightens your day, turns on your brain, gets your creativities flowing. However, when you exercise, your calorie burn, the rate at which you're burning calories stays accelerated for a while after you've exercised. But that probably goes for when you're sleeping too. So yeah, Robin, use your caloric budget and spread it throughout your day. And even if the last thing you do before you go to bed is have a banana or a sandwich because you were hungry and it fit within your caloric budget, fine. Just to confess, last night at 3 a.m., I was up, not sleeping. I don't know why, but then I got hungry. So I went out and I got a tangerine and I ate it. And yeah, I ate a tangerine, guilty, at 4 a.m. And it's probably not going to do anything negative to me. It just filled me up because I was hungry, and I got some vitamin C and some hydration from it. Thank you, tangerine. But yeah, don't worry about timing. It's more about in versus out. Susie Lee, what is your best natural remedy for anxiety? Well, exercise. I hope I'm trying not to be too obvious here, but exercise. Yeah, if you want to exert, if you want to expel toxic feelings, exercise, move your body, run, punch, lift, kick, do yoga, do strength training, do Pilates, whatever it is, you can absolutely exert mental stress through physical work. And you can do that while digging a ditch in your backyard. You can chop down trees. Anything to get your body moving will expel that toxic energy for you. So I think exercise, number one. And whenever I meet people who work in the mental health industry, I ask, do you tell your patients to exercise? Every last one of them 100% says yes. So for mental health, physical health goes a long way. And then there's other go-tos. And I'm really aggressive about getting rid of my sads. So sometimes I get sads and I really dislike them because I'm so genuinely happy. I love to be happy. I seek out joy. I prefer it. The girl the happy whatever, that's me. That is how I am. But sometimes the sads come and get me too. And so I spring into action on my own behalf. I rarely just sit there and take it. I don't let the sads overrun my mind, my chest, where it feels so bad, it kills your digestive system. I do not let the sads take me down without a fight. So I exercise first. I go outside. For me, fresh air is magical. I spend as much time with my dogs. And if I'm not in town with my dogs, I find somebody else's dogs. I go to a zoo. I get near animals. I have a lot of productive ways to manage stress. I listen to podcasts. I call friends. FaceTime means a lot to me. I love to see smiles. I need connections. Whenever I'm connecting with a friend and they're going to light me up because I'm happy to see them, that makes me forget about the bad stuff going on. And my bestie, Christy, boy, the two of us have seen some dark days in the recent decade. And no matter what, she makes me belly laugh every single time. So make a list. Make a list. What makes me happy? What can I do to drag myself out of the doldrums, and have it on hand and use it? Make it a note in your cell phone. You probably always have your cell phone with you, and title it SADS. Get rid of the SADS. SADS defense. And then do those things. Just keep doing them until they go away. Susie, I'm sure your list is probably somewhat different than mine, but I bet you have a list. And be proactive, man. I go on offense. When those sads come in, I say, okay, what can I do? What can I do? And then I do those things, and usually it works. The sads, they do come, but they don't stick around very long with me because I won't have any of that. No, thank you. And we will be right back. Wouldn't it be fun to feel like a celebrity on race day? Imagine if all the spectators between the start and finish line were calling your name. Well, they would if they could. And that's why you have to tell them by ordering the Name Bib Kit at penandpaces.com. It's a waterproof, tear-proof bib. You can put it on your chest. It comes with 2 sets of alphabet stickers for you to write your name. And so as you cruise on by, everyone can say, go Katie, go Jamal, go Susie, whoever you are, they're going to cheer for you. I promise. It's a special way to race. I ran the Boston Marathon with my name on my sports bra. It felt like everybody in the town of Boston was cheering, go Fitz. And I want that for you too. So head on over to penandpaces.com right now, order your race bib, and have the time of your life. We're back. Okie dokie. Marissa says, I've been struggling to stay disciplined while going on vacation with family or drinking on nights out with friends. Do you have any tips on how to balance health while still having fun and not feeling left out? Yeah. So number one, you can make plans that don't involve alcohol. You just can make different types of plans, right? So if you want to hang out with these certain people, but you don't want to have to worry about alcohol, choose other things, right? We are going to come over for game night, and I'm going to make some hot cocoa for everybody. Or we're going to go hang out at Starbucks, or we're going to go to the dog park, or we're going to go play pickleball, right? There's things you can do that don't incorporate alcohol. There's a lot of people roaming around Earth every day, not even considering drinking just because they're not in those positions. Now, if you go to a bar, alcohol may be a thing. You know what you could do? You can volunteer to be a designated driver. That is the sweetest, most intelligent way to remove your ability to drink by obligating yourself for everyone's safety and life not to drink. So permanent DD, why not be that girl? Or you can tell them, hey guys, I'm trying to cut back on alcohol. Please don't pressure me. Please don't add pressure, and uh, encourage me. Like, celebrate, right? Like, be clear with people. Let them know. If you've got friends who have drinking problems, they may have a hard time supporting you. And then perhaps you go out with different friends, right? You have decisions to make, and alcohol for me is sometimes it's a sometimes beverage. It's a rarity. I see too many people where alcohol is a daily. It's funny. It boggles my mind. I think, really, alcohol every day? I mean, it would make me tired. It would mess with my digestive system. It would make me unmotivated. It would affect my workouts negatively. It would affect my productivity on the business side of things. Do you think I'd be able to write books if I were drinking all the time? Not good ones. That's for sure. I wouldn't be able to be clear on the podcast, and there's a lot of things I wouldn't be able to do. And so you're wise to consider cutting back or going cold turkey. Either way works fine by me. But yeah, alcohol shouldn't be a part of a normal, healthy agenda, right? And so, perhaps you steer your group of friends towards other activities that don't traditionally include alcohol, or maybe you steer yourself towards different friends. There's a lot of opportunity out there. You just have to decide what matters most to yourself, and stick with it. Discipline. That's the thing. Discipline, motivation. Motivation means you care. Discipline means you put your foot down and you do, right? Be the person who does. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of options there. You can say, I'm going to go 7 days sober. I'm going to do sober November or sober March. Make some guidelines for yourself and stick with them, Marissa. I believe in you. I believe you have the discipline, and what a great test. If you can go a week without alcohol, well, you can certainly go 2 weeks without alcohol. And oh my gosh, when I was in college, I drank a lot. I did. I was that girl. I was a Florida Gator and I was an Irish Gator, and I drank a lot. And then when I started fighting, before my first fight, I had to drop 14 pounds. I think it was in 10 days. It was some god awful short window. And obviously, alcohol isn't part of your agenda when you're trying to lose weight. So I was eating clean. I was eating very little, but I would still go out to the bars with my friends, and I would just have a Diet Coke or a water. And I remember the epiphany, thinking, holy mackerel, I've been out for 10 days and I have had just as much fun completely sober than I did with a cocktail in my hand. And that was really profound. I was 22 at the time, I'm guessing. So at that point, I really cut back on my drinking, and I had also lost a ton of weight for that fight. And I was finally feeling like the girl I wanted to be. I had hit whatever your goal weight is, the goal size. I remember being in front of the mirror thinking, yeah, I'm not going to screw this up. I'm not going to let this go. I'm going to stay here. And then I made big decisions. What do I need to do to stay here? And cutting out alcohol was a big part of that equation. And it's worked for me ever since. I have a couple of drinks throughout the year, but it's not a daily, it's not a weekly, it's not even a monthly. And I think for your health, our health, everyone's health, it should be minimal. Okie dokie. Serena, that's such a pretty name, by the way. Serena. She says, I'm just beginning my journey in strength training. Do you think I should start with more free weights or machines? The answer is yes. Either works fine. In fact, I would encourage you to work out with both, and work out with as many fitness tools as you can, because variety is the secret to constant progress in fitness. And so I would not want you to become a girl who gets too comfortable using the machines and never moves on from that. That's a habit that will get old pretty quickly. And yes, it's wonderful if you're someone who goes and works out with machines 3 days a week. Well, kudos to you. I'm not picking on you. However, know this, you would do so much better if you did machines twice a week and free weights on the third day, or cables, or kettlebells, or body weight training, gravity, or suspension training, or Pilates, right? You can do all of these different things and your body will constantly be left guessing. And I'm trying to find the right word, adjusting, right? It's that need to adjust. That discomfort is what leads to progress. So, Serena, I want you to start with all of it. Every day you show up at the gym, or every day you're doing something at home, choose a new exercise to work into your workout. And yeah, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself with different resistance, different amounts of repetitions, and different equipment. That's wow, you'll love the results if you do that. And strength training, each muscle group only every other day, right? So when you train a muscle, when you do strength training, you're tearing down muscle fibers, you're causing damage. Your body then sends in its repair troops to repair and rebuild. And that's how muscles get stronger. That's how muscles grow. You need at least 48 hours for that to happen. And that's the end of my Q's and A's today. Those were great questions. Thank you so much. A lot of good topics: alcohol, water retention, strength training, anxiety, weight loss drugs. Nice combo. Keep them coming. And even if you have something that feels really personal to you, trust me, somebody else has the same question. Somebody else has been thinking the same thing. So send it my way. All right. The communication tip of the week is when you have somebody who's done something really good, something you're excited about or proud of, or you think highly of, do better than telling them it was nice, right? You know, what's so interesting. Sometimes my mother I'll do something that's semi extra, right? Something that's pretty big. And she goes, "It's nice." And I'll think, dang it, Mom, what do I have to do to impress you? Nice seems really less, right? I'm actually not an attention junkie, and maybe it's just my mom, right? But if your spouse just got a promotion, or they spent all their hard-earned money on a brand new car, or they learned some dance moves, whatever, don't say, "Oh, that's nice." Say, come up with something better. Give them clever, or fantastical, or beautiful, or marvelous, whatever. Come up with some better words. I think nice is not enough. Nice is, I don't know, you vacuumed out your car. Nice job. That's good, right? But if somebody wins something, or if somebody's really poured their heart into something, do better than nice. And then also do better than amazing, because amazing is just overused. Amazing is that word, really. Oh, this sandwich is amazing. Really? A sandwich? Amazing means something caused tremendous awe. It wowed you so hard. Is everything amazing? Start paying attention. You'll hear the word amazing overused. And truthfully, I believe that if everything's amazing, then really nothing's amazing. If my hair is amazing, and my sandwich is amazing, and the weather is amazing, and the dog is amazing, then nothing's amazing, right? Are we really wowed anymore? So find some sort of middle ground between nice and amazing. Maybe look up synonyms for wonderful and fabulous, and things that you really care about. Do better than nice. Be far more creative than amazing. And then our song of the week, I'm going back to an artist that I've chosen in the past few months, but she's so good. Chappell Roan has a new song out. It's called Subway. Oh, it's so good. It's actually got a great video too. So Chappell Roan, watch the Subway video. It's a little crazy, but it's good. It's more than good. It's more than nice. It's definitely way better than amazing. It's clever and colorful and thoughtful and creative, and I really enjoy this song. So this song is something I want you to add to your playlist while you're going for a walk. And I want you to play it 3 different times till you're singing. And it's the last part of the song that'll get you. The last part is so good. It's a very singable song. And I want to know that you're out on a trail somewhere or a path or walking down the sidewalk in your neighborhood, singing this song at the top of your lungs. Folks, thank you for all the questions. Thanks for tricking me, Minnesota. Kind of rude, but I forgive you because I love you. Get to work, everybody. Bye. Mwah.
Hi, this is Rudy Novotny, the voice of America's Marathons. We all love how much running has benefited every aspect of our lives, so much so that most of us only wish we'd started sooner. Wouldn't it be wonderful to gift the opportunity to children of today? Well, you can. The Morning Mile is a before-school walking and running program that gives children a chance to start each day in an active way while enjoying fun, music, and friends. That's every child, every day. It's also supported by a wonderful system of rewards, which keeps students highly motivated and frequently congratulated. Created by our favorite fitness expert, Fitz. Morning milers across the country have run over 2 million miles and are having greater success with academics, behavior, and sports because of it. The Morning Mile is free to the child, free to the school, and is inexpensively funded by businesses or generous individuals. Help more kids get moving in the morning by visiting morningmile.com. Champion the program at your favorite school or find out more about sponsorship opportunities. That's morningmile.com. Long may you run.